You see, your reality isn't as real as you think it is. It's not really as real as you think it is. See, it's not static, it's dynamic. It keeps changing. You can't assume that the reality you have now is going to be the reality you have tomorrow. It's dynamic, it flows. And the only way to keep up with reality is to be delusional. Because delusion is any deviation away from reality, and since it changes, facing away from it brings you right towards it. Now, my favorite human being of all time, his name is Lewis Carroll. He once said, "My reality is not the same as your reality." And he wrote a book later called Alice in Wonderland. And in Alice in Wonderland, it's a syndrome. It's based off a syndrome where people have it's a mental health disorder where people have a distorted vision in which they see the world. They have no sense of dimension. And in the story, Alice, this little girl, gets led on by a rabbit, a hallucination, and gets brought down a rabbit hole into this world called Underland. In Underland, reality is distorted. It jumps, it flips, it dances, it swivels. And it's the most amazing thing because this constraint and this mundane lives of ours get taken away and we're just brought into this world where there's nothing but bended possibilities. You see, here's the thing. Do you guys know what the Diagnosis Statistics Manual is, the DSM? It's basically a manual with all the mental health disorders in the world. And if you read that book, you'll realize that you have all the mental health disorders because the symptoms are literally everything that you do. Meaning that being normal is the most psychotic thing that you possibly do. To be normal means to satisfy all those requirements. Standing, not being upset, not being too happy. Literally a robot, in which case you might as well not have lived at all. You see, one of the things, all right, so let's talk about reality for a second. The closest thing that we have to reality is physics. Can we all agree that physics is the closest thing that we have to reality? Physics dictates reality. It's very numerical, it's got constraints, it's got parameters, it's got rigid frameworks through which you view the world. But let me tell you, physics is just as unsure as you are about reality. Newton came along and said, guys, the reality that we have is called classical reality, and space and time are discrete. This is the canvas. Don't question me, this is reality. And then it took a delusional man like Einstein to come along and say, what if it's just a fabric? What if space and time is just a fabric and gravity is a distortion in that fabric? Now we have relativistic reality. Reality changed. And then they realized, hey, Einstein's equations don't work at a subatomic level. Let's bring in quantum reality. And then quantum reality is the new reality. And then all of a sudden, unified reality is the new reality. It keeps changing. Whatever we think real is today is not the real that is tomorrow. In fact, from the moment that you're born to the day you die, your reality changes. Scientists have shown that when you die, the neurological systems in your brain tend to work in a way that cause hallucinatory effects. You are not in reality anymore. What you thought was your reality becomes distorted. The chemicals that are released in your brain, the DMT, the different molecules, swish and dance and swivel like they do in Alice in Wonderland, and makes you feel this calming, euphoric sensation of escaping from your reality. Wake up. Be delusional. Reality is waiting for you to catch up with it. It's running ahead, changing and morphing as it bumps into every rock of uncertainty. Only those crazy enough can earn their place by its side as it makes its way into the unknown. Wake up and be delusional, as reality won't wait for you for a long time. I was fortunate enough to volunteer at a hospital where I came across a heroin addict called Helen. And Helen had a distorted version of reality. She had her own reality, which inspired me to write the poem Purple. And I don't think Helen is still around anymore. So this is dedicated to you. Please, rabbit, please lead me to the hole under the tree, a hole not too big or small, just enough for me and Helen. This isn't a play to pretend they are not here, but still leave the hole open for my friend. She ain't around anymore, but she sure is on the other side of that hole. I thought I loved reality, I really did. God forbid, I don't make it out of that hole and miss the afternoon tea. Like a mace, I once used reality to trample on someone's truth, claiming to be the ultimate actuary. The fairy's not real, kid. Swallow your truth. When I made it out in the other end of the hole, the rabbit stood right up and lent me the cup. Yep, we're heading to an afternoon with the Hatter. You guys know the Hatter? The what, the who? Don't worry, in the underland that I live in with Helen, you don't have to matter. But what about reality really matters? I'll tell you what matters. The night I convinced my friend to stare down the hole in the tree, told her to stick a finger to the world and say, why would I need you, world, when I can be me? Substances gave her purpose and second to none greed. My love, the word purpose is there to remind you that is not what you need. I need my child back, she wailed at me. You say, I saw a cat give birth to a ferret and the sky is purple. I saw it with my own two pupils. She stands on it, she will not bail. I told her, yes, I saw a whale just now doing a backflip over a dragon, Helen, and the blue moon resting on a haystack wagon. A great loss, but she leaped into her rabbit hole before they could seal it shut. Now she dances with me in the Hatter, in a world where matter don't matter, where her sky is purple and the ferrets run free, and my flying whales are blue, yellow, red, whatever I want it to be. Wake up and be delusional, because your reality isn't real. Thank you.
Hatter, why is a raven like a writing desk?
I haven't the slightest idea.